All right, so National Novel Writing Month will soon be upon us, like within a couple days. It's coming. It's coming fast. That sounded terrible. But yeah, it's coming, and this year I'm ready for it. I've tried it in the past, never really worked. I kind of just, not so much give up. I would just kind of go about my life, and then all of a sudden it's the 16th, and I would figure, well, it's too late now. But this year, I'm ready for it. I actually prepared for it specifically. I built a little custom setup on my desk specifically for it. It's only 3 parts. It's a keyboard. It's an old 480p monitor from the mid 2000s, and a Raspberry Pi that only does one thing. Well, 2 things. It boots and then runs Vim automatically. It just goes right into Vim. So, yeah, I pretty much turned a Raspberry Pi into an old brother word processor. Which, I don't know if you remember those. We had one when I was growing up. We had one about 25 years ago. All it did was process words and play Tetris. That's it. And this doesn't even play Tetris. In fact, using a Raspberry Pi is kind of overkill for it, but it's about as extra as I'm going to get when it comes to this. And I specifically did it because I personally, especially when it comes to like writing shit, I hate modern word processors. Like I'm not doing any desktop publishing. There's too many features that I don't need. All I need is a cursor on the screen. I also hate the white background because after a while it hurts your eyes. I like to have, light on black. And I saw somewhere that George R.R. Martin, whenever he's writing books, he does it on this old DOS computer not connected to the internet. And that really inspired me. I started using all these Linux word processors that you could get on like Debian-based distros that, do the whole distraction-free thing, but I didn't really get into it all that much. It still felt weird, and plus not only that, I could still hear the notifications in the background, so it didn't really even fucking matter. It wasn't really distraction-free. And then I thought about spinning my own Debian-based distribution to, specifically for distraction-free writing for myself mostly. I guess, kind of thinking about it, I guess I did it. I succeeded. I spun my own distro on my Raspberry Pi. All it does is load Vim automatically. I did it. Now, you're probably not going to be seeing any ISOs because, why? Why? It's kind of nonsense. But this is the thing. I don't know. It's like this kind of setup. It's silly. It's silly. Admittedly, it's silly. But I kind of feel like it's kind of feels a bit pure. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's kind of the only way I could describe it. You're pretty much on the hardware. You're in the actual shell. There's no abstractions blocking you. You're in the thing, typing your story. It's like a typewriter plus is the best way I could describe it. And I don't know, I'm going for it. Maybe I'll fail. And this will just be another silly thing, but maybe I'll succeed. And if I succeed, the books I write after, I'm going to go even more extra. The next book is going to be full, customized, manually compiled Linux distribution with like the kernel compiled fully manually. And then put on a Raspberry Pi or, something else, Then the next book, it's not going to be a Raspberry Pi. It's going to be a custom-built single-board computer designed specifically for one purpose and one purpose alone. There will be no end to the madness if this succeeds. Just getting even more extra and even more extra. It's like, why though? Why would you go this extra, especially with, well, I know the novel that I want to write. I didn't even bother with people on the group that, people participating created this group on Facebook, people near me at least, and they're talking about how they're working on their outlines and all this kind of stuff. It's like, no, personally I feel that's kind of cheating. I'm going to do this all throughout the month. You don't start working until it starts. So no outlines, no nothing. And like I said, I already know the novel that I'm going to write because I've been trying to write this novel for years. And I'll get a few chapters in and I'll hate where the story's going. And the thing is, usually like if I'm coding something, if something doesn't work or something works badly, I'll go through it and fix it. That's what you do with code. But the thing is, I don't see fiction writing like that. Like I'm not going to go back and start changing things because then after a while, you look back and things could not be adding up and that causes even more problems. So I'll just, if I don't like the way it's going, I'll get frustrated. I'll delete everything and not even think about the project for like another 6 months. And then I'll just be full of regret that I deleted everything because I don't even remember why I did it in the first place. But actually, I might still have the last attempt saved somewhere. But that's really here nor there. I know where I'm going to be going with this. It's going to be in the same universe that Lucky Lead exists in. So we're talking the future 200 years from now in a country whose government is run by casinos. And really, this admittedly just silly ritual, I guess you could call it, kind of mirrors the characters that we're following because they use technology. They have handhelds and they have computers. But the thing is, the only way you would be able to get these kind of things in that world is through the government. And they might not hate the government, but they do not trust the government. So all of their gear, their computers, their PDAs, the medical augmentations on one of their members, it was all designed by them. And the software behind it is from, a long extinct code base that they found all around abandoned buildings. Because if you already know, you can't build a working Linux system unless you already have Linux. And it's strongly implied, if not, outright stated, they're using a fork of Linux. That could actually, come to think of it, it could be really cool if, like, the national casinos, the government, they use closed source, BSD-based systems. Commentary. That actually wouldn't be bad commentary. That's actually a good idea. Hopefully I remember it. Hopefully I jot this down somewhere. Somewhere where I could recall it later on and not forget. I don't know. But anyway, no outline. And not only that, I also wanted to do this because, doing it this way also can potentially put you in a different mind space, give you a kind of a different point of view. Because I'll tell you, for the better part of 8 years, anytime I've been using a computer, it's not been on a desk. I've been on a couch, or I've been on the floor. I've been on a mattress that's on the floor. It's not been sitting at a desk. Like maybe sometimes I'll go to the library and use my laptop there. But, I did that to, put myself in a different headspace, a different point of view. You know what I'm saying? And it worked. It worked for what I was doing. More than likely get into that later. Probably the next thing whatever this is. But yeah, it puts you in a different point of view. You can have thoughts and ideas that you probably wouldn't have thought of, staring at all these dead icons. I don't know. Different point of view, different ideas. Maybe something better comes. Maybe something better comes from this method of doing it than the method that I usually do when I'm writing stuff. So, it's fun to see. It's fun to see what'll happen. Let's just keep it at that. But I'm really excited. Sunday is going to be a fun day. So, besides that, I've been... I have the same computer that I had, custom built rig, and I have a better GPU nowadays, so I've been re-rendering old projects, just to kind of see if I can make them look better. Little bit of practice, if you will. And I did a lot of research, and I found that a lot of the community render farms, the community-driven render farms that I used to use, a lot of them don't exist anymore. And there's a lot more render farms where you pay to use them. And I'll be completely honest with you. I'm not paying to use a render farm. I'm not going to do it. And the thing is, it's not because I don't believe that it's a valid business strategy or that it's a business that shouldn't exist or any kind of malicious thing like that. It's not that at all. It's not in my budget. It's not in my budget whatsoever. And if it was in my budget, for my purposes, it's still cheaper to just, if I'm going to render a picture, just start it right before I go to bed and then go to bed and let it do its thing overnight. With how long it's going to take. Because I couldn't imagine paying for a render farm unless I was doing an animation. Because doing an animation, you need a render farm. You need it completely. You really can't, even on the best computer with, the most CUDA cores inside of it, it's going to be a dragging process. You need a render farm to do that for you. And, that's the only way I could ever see, even a company just paying money. Because, if you're a company and you have computers around, you really could just create your own janky render farm. I could create I have a Raspberry Pi right here. I have my laptop. I have my host machine. I could create my own janky render farm. And it probably wouldn't be great. It'd probably still take a bunch of time. But, that's why I kind of go after, community-driven, volunteer render farms. They're usually ran by the members, where the members will log into their computers and just let, just kind of donate their, their equipment, pretty much. Donate their equipment to be used by other people over a network. So, like, say you're not playing any games right now or anything like that, and you turn the program on, and your GPU is being able to be part of rendering other projects for other users. And I think that's really cool. And I used to do that sometimes. I would leave my computer on, like if I was at work, I'd leave my computer on and just let them access it, and well, not access the computer, but let them access the GPU so that it could be used to help out other people as kind of a thanks for, helping me out when I needed it. But, yeah, that's really it. I'm excited about National Novel Writing Month. I'm not paying for a render farm. if you actually listen to this nonsense, I commend you. Thank you for your attention. And have a safe Halloween. And yeah, I'm calling it. That's it. Bye.